Alright, so I've attempted to record this like 6 different times, and it's failed like every time. One time just flat out corrupting my entire file, so I'm gonna do the quick and dirty. Here's the rules. Number 1, it is stuff that I have directly interacted with, because this is going to be my personal list / opinion. So we're not, if you care about Facebook gaming or TikTok streaming, then I do not have results for that, though I am open if people in the comments actually want me to give those a shot and kind of give my review of them on their own. Point number 2. These are going to be in order from ones that I have streamed on the most to the ones that I've streamed on the least. If you want to skip to a specific site that I've used, the timecode will be, I believe, on screen, but at the very least will be in the description below. Rule number 3. These are based off of the site themselves without outside factors. So not taking into bringing people over from Twitter or bringing people over from another site. So like uploading things to TikTok and then getting people on Twitch is not going to be a point toward Twitch. That being said, YouTube Shorts over to standard YouTube, even though I believe vertical does actually have its own thing on YouTube, those are going to feed into each other, because it's effectively the same as Twitch clips when it comes to that. That being said, we'll start off with Twitch. I have a lot of interesting things to say about Twitch, I suppose, and not a lot of time to do so, especially given the week that I'm doing this in. That being said, points in favor of Twitch is it is kind of the most established for streaming. It's got the kind of longest time, and in my personal opinion, I kind of like most of the way that it's oriented its direct streaming stuff the best out of all of them, due to things that we'll get into, namely when we get to YouTube, as my downside for YouTube. That being said, that's kind of the only things I can say positive. At the time of recording this, I mean, I guess if you're a Fansly IRL, specifically female, I suppose at the very least you get Dan Clancy's blessing. Beyond that, then, I mean, you're working with whatever rules, whatever mod decides to give you at the given time. Good luck. If you're a VTuber, you have the debuff. The primary other thing that it has is discoverability. It's not great. If you're large, you will be on the front page and you will get X, Y, and Z. If you apply for the front page, you have to have a certain amount of size, and then that'll get you there to a certain degree. Aside from that, maybe one of your clips might get recommended from someone watching another clip. Discoverability is not great on Twitch. It is probably its biggest downside. Overall, my review of Twitch is probably a 3, maybe 2.5 out of 5. It's not great, especially with recent stuff. I'm trying to keep it to exclusively stuff related to the site, but overall, it really incentivizes you to bring people from other places if you want following, to the point where they outright have easy, quick sends to YouTube and TikTok at this point. They are not there to help you. On to YouTube. This is probably one of the better ones, to be honest, and I'm not biased because this video is going to go up onto YouTube, but I do genuinely think that YouTube is probably one of, if not the best, in regards to overall. First and foremost, mentioning the rules as one of the last things on Twitch. Obviously, the rules are more strict on YouTube, especially when it comes to copyright and whatnot. However, they do seem to, for the most part, dish them out evenly instead of however the mods feel like at that given time. There are some obvious incidents where it doesn't exactly work like that, and people that manipulate the way that the rules work. However, for the most part, YouTube is very good about that, from my experience. Point number 2, obviously, shorts are right there. Shorts will get people's attention, bring them onto your channel, and then congratulations, you've wound up getting people via that. And shorts go into the algorithm rather than being tossed however Twitch decides to do it. Related to that, YouTube also automatically converts VODs into videos. Keep your VODs tagged and give them thumbnails, you know, the usual rules for any video. You'll wind up being fine. The primary downside I have, and this is 2 downsides in one to a certain degree, though one of them is fixed by using a third party. I use Mix It Up. Due to everything being its own independent thing, the YouTube streams are all going to get their own, and thus YouTube chat is going to get its own. So if you put a YouTube chat doc in your OBS, you are going to have to manually change it every time. So I recommend using a third party, such as Mix It Up, in order to actually have it just automatically go to whatever the most recent chat is. It also means that rather than just having a single link like for pretty much every other site, in order to get to your live, you will have to get the independent link from each of the videos. Those are my primary 2 gripes with it, honestly. YouTube is, like I said, one of, if not the best. It's a different beast from Twitch, if you're familiar with Twitch, the way that Twitch does anything, as far as the way that the culture works. So from either of those to YouTube, you'll wind up having a little bit of difference, but it's not bad. I don't think it's bad at all. YouTube overall, I'd probably give a 4, maybe even a 4.5 out of 5. It does still have some downsides, but YouTube is overall probably the one I'd recommend the most, even though Twitch I classify as my primary and streaming. On to Fansly. Fansly is pretty good overall. It's going to have a lower number of people because it is very niche in what it does. However, its discoverability is actually pretty good because, like YouTube, the stuff that you upload gets tossed into the algorithm on its own. One big downside is it doesn't have VODs. You have to manually record on your OBS or whatever else you're streaming from in order to later upload the VODs separately. That is a warning for anyone that wants to get into that. It also has, obviously, the reputation of being the lewd site. It's not mandatory to be lewd over there, but you're kind of going to have people that are somewhat expecting it for the first time. If you're not doing that, it is something to be aware of, obviously. But you're not forced to be lewd over there, despite the reputation. And you have a lot of more freedom with the things that you can talk about. Like, if you have a lot of experience in, obviously, lewd things, you can talk more freely about that. You can be more educational on more taboo subjects and whatnot. One big downside, if you're in the furry community, sorry. That's, thanks to Visa and MasterCard, not allowed over there at this point. I recommend Joystick if you do. It's kind of the same thing. I haven't used it yet, so it's not going to get reviewed tonight. I may do a actual test over on that for some time and come back later with a review of how I feel about the site. One thing that it has that others don't is normally people, obviously due to the loot aspect, are searching you via tags. There is no game categories, and you're rarely going to find anyone via, like, searching title or anything, keywords in title. So it'll be the tags for your specific page, and as a result, it's less likely that you're going to wind up getting people that are harassing you because, I mean, they've had to look for your specific tags in order to get to where you are. That being said, it is not that it doesn't actually put you anywhere. Like I said, it has an algorithm that it puts you into, and it even suggests you on, like, the front page occasionally, just based off of tags that are related to other people that are currently live that people follow, rather than be big, otherwise get fucked. I'd overall give it, no, I'd give it a 4. It is, I'd recommend it. It's a good place overall. If you don't mind the stigma of you probably are doing loot over there, which if you're taking it into account, you probably already thought that. The final site that I'm going to talk about tonight is Kick. I got convinced by some friends to multi-stream to Kick for a while. And there are just so many bots there. There are so many bots. I have 50 followers over there, and a single one is a real person. And it doesn't have a Sari bot like Twitch does to skim the bots. If you have your chat up on screen, do not freaking have Kick chat up there, otherwise your chat will just be filled with advertising shitty bot sites. It is abysmal as far as that goes. I will give a little caveat that I have seen people that have been quite successful over there, but this is my own experience, so I am going to give it based off of my experience rather than the people that I saw while skimming that had 300 or so viewers. If you advocate for Kick, more power to you. I just cannot give it a positive review. Doubly so when it comes to its reputation. It does have a reputation for, at this point, criminals and animal abusers still being on the site. Last I checked, granted I suppose that Twitch ain't exactly doing better as of this past week. But that being said, Kick I would give about the same as Twitch. I honestly, freaking overall, Kick might get an outright, 1. It has to fix its bot problem heavily or give some tools to deal with the bot problem or something. And they also need to just ban the people that are just breaking laws and abusing animals on their stream constantly. They need to shake that reputation, and they need to fix the bot problem. It does have a few good points depending on certain communities. It does have specific community things. Giga mentioned the GTRP. Specific GTRP servers have their own categories. So over there, it's actually pretty decent from that angle. I'd still probably only give it a 2 overall. My final conclusion is multi-stream. I use Atom personally for multi-streaming. It also allows you to potentially do vertical streams, which I might try in the future. I'm probably going to remove Kick from mine because at this point I get so many bots that I actually, by the time I have a real person show up, I'm not paying attention and I miss them by 10 plus minutes. I can't. But I do recommend multi-streaming. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you're watching this, you're probably thinking of getting into streaming, so I do definitely recommend, if your PC can handle it, multi-streaming. Atom isn't terribly heavy, so I'd recommend it. That being said, that's my final review of everything. YouTube gets a 4.5, almost perfect, not quite there. Fansly gets a 4 in second place. Twitch gets a 2.5, hesitant. They really need to fix their shit in multiple ways. Even though I still will stream over there, I say this out of love and not wanting a site that I have put a lot of time and care into, and the community that I have over there, I don't want to lose them because people don't want to do their jobs properly. And then Kick, I give a 2. It's not the worst, and I've definitely seen people do well over there, but in my personal experience, over several months, I cannot. It is marked as the worst, and it might still be the worst to depend, if I ever try and do other sites. I don't know. I'll give it a look. If people want to see me look at other sites like Facebook Gaming for some reason, or TikTok stream, or YouTube's vertical stream, because I think that's actually a thing. Or maybe I'll do Joystick and do like an independent video for it. Then comment down below. Either way, thank you all so much for watching. Like if you liked, subscribe to join the Eggplant Patch, and I will see you guys in the next video where hopefully we'll be talking about something a little spooky and creative. Love y'all. Bye.